The stock market took a big hit today, and we will look at the indicators which show this system has become extremely fragile. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. I have so much information to cover today, way too much in fact. It took me a very long time to put all of these together. I just want to hit each one very quickly and bring that to you beginning right here. This is basically, there's two articles here that I want to tell you just briefly about what happened today. A drop of 1.2% on the S&P 500. That is very significant to happen within a one-day period. Now, if it were to come back up in a short period of time, not much to worry about here. But if the trend continues, obviously we have a problem. Financials falling 2.5%, and the Dow Jones dropped 240 points. Okay, so we have a fairly significant drop in this time frame. In fact, I believe it was the biggest in 5 months, if I'm not mistaken. So that is something to note. What happens after the 100-day streak without a 1% drop ends? And as you can see, they're suggesting that in the short term, there may not be any growth, but over the course of the next 12 months, historically, there could be some more growth here potential. So let's see what happens. I don't know if this is any indication of what will actually happen, but that's what they're saying. So that's the introduction here. Let's move in to the facts. The ballooning S&P 500 PE ratio, the PE ratio being considered widely as when you're talking about, the analysis of any particular company or stocks or whatever, PE ratio is important. Okay, now historically, I have read that it's about 16 on the PE ratios, although there are those who suggest that a new PE ratio has formed towards the 20 mark or even higher. And you can see that as March 20, you're looking at 26 and change. This is going up significantly over the years, as dating back from 2012, and the PE ratios just keep on increasing. That's what happened during the dot-com boom. Let me see, how did that work out? Let me just flip back in my history book here. Oops. Yeah, it took a nosedive. All right, so let's move on. Earning stagnation despite financials engineering. So they're saying, look, they're printing all this money, but what exactly has been the result? And according to the earnings per share, since 2014, there has been nothing going on. Despite the fact that the stock market has been moving up and up and up, you see the earnings per share going sideways, and that is not a good sign. It is very, very clear. Moving on. Rolling 4-week change in year-over-year loan creation, you could see this obvious decline happening, and it's been sort of a trend here, short trend anyway, and that's minus 2.8%. Now look, we have to go back and realize, wait a minute, this is back dating to the financial crisis once again. That's what continuously happens. When I say this is the financial crisis part 2, keep saying it. I'm getting bored of saying it. I wrote about it in my new book, and I've continuously said it on here, that we are headed back into the financial crisis. Moving on. Looking at this commercial bank loans creation, year-over-year change. Another one that has sort of dipped off, fallen off the cliff. Moving on. Sudden drop-off. After years of steady credit expansion, banks are starting to pare their loan books, loans and leases to commercial and industrial companies at U.S. commercial banks. And, I would say it's too early to tell, but it is significant because overall you can see the slow and steady increase, and then it goes to a drop off. So I want to see credit in that slow and steady increase. I don't want to see drop-offs and especially trends continuing. That's what I'm looking for relating to this. So, it applies to these previous charts I just showed you. Venezuela's money supply. It's not really related necessarily, but I had to show you this. I know that there are so many of you out there that are going to find this amazing. I mean, it's increasing steady, and then look at this hockey stick that just goes straight up. It's insane. That's what you'll see in the history books. We're going to look at Venezuela's hyperinflation 10, 20, 50 years from now and look and say, wow, that was bad. You're going to see Weimar Germany, and you're going to see Venezuela from this time right now. Look at how devastating that is. And then you compare that Venezuela to Colombia and Brazil, and you see a very different picture. I mean, regionally, they're obviously geographically focused and close, but the situation is completely different. Definitely. And then a few of what I like to think of as the real economic indicators. Payless Shoes is said to be filing for bankruptcy as soon as next week. They have 4,000 locations. They may close anywhere between 500 and 1,000 stores. A significant amount of hardship going on in all these different corporations. And they're being pushed out by other big corporations. It's not like, somebody else isn't taking over. But what I would see is that there has been a lot of these stores which are either laying people off or closing locations, or hang on to that for the last article, what the other thing that's been happening. Sears is acknowledged the substantial doubt about its ability to keep operating, raising fresh concerns about a company that has lost more than $10 billion in recent years. Sears is losing, Payless is losing. All of these big box stores, these big chains are taking a beating right now. But people keep saying that everything is just fine. Well, maybe it is. Maybe I'm totally wrong. You believe what you want to believe. Last but not least, this is Goldman Sachs, their own website, posting a job for building a robo-advisor. Replacing jobs in the financial industry is going to be the new normal. A lot of people today, and I'll finish it off with this. A lot of people today, they're millennials or even younger, or they're parents who have young children, and they want them to get a good education, believing that this is very important. I don't necessarily deny that having a good education is important, but that education that you go post-secondary, you go off into college, university, and you believe that that's going to get you a job, that is wrong. Times have changed. Times have really changed. And the people who are making the big bucks today aren't necessarily those who went to school for long periods of time. If you got your PhD in philosophy or something or like this, you may not have a job waiting for you at the end of it. A lot of people are in that situation now. Very educated people, I would argue educated in the wrong things, but educated people are losing out. They're really suffering at this time because they have so much debt. At the same time, they are unable to find work. So that's the situation that a lot of people have found themselves in. I believe that people need to do their own education in their own time. Getting the new means of information in, where you have individuals, not corporations, not mainstream type media, providing information for people, condensing it and aggregating it and making our lives simple. That's what technology has allowed us to do. It's a double-edged sword. We can use it to our advantage. Look at what I've been able to do. I've taken all of this information that took me a few hours. Let's see here. It took me probably about 2.5 hours to put this video together, if you can believe it or not. So I've went through like 50 different articles and probably even more charts took all of that, put it together, condensed it for you so that you can have it, so that you can take that information, you can build upon it to then go on and hopefully pass it on or just build up your own knowledge base for yourself, for your families and everything else. So this is what has become the new paradigm, where individuals are able to fend for themselves, let's say. If you found this video informative, please give me a thumbs up. When you give me a thumbs up, it pushes these videos higher up in the YouTube search rankings. So I really appreciate that. And last but not least, if you found the video informative, then I know you'll find my book, The Money GPS, even more informative. Check out The Global Economic Collapse as well. That's my new book. Both of these are available at Amazon. And you have this look inside feature over there that will allow you to flip through the pages of the book and see if you like it. Take care.